Three things before I get started. First of all, I had cataract surgery on Monday, so if my eyes are kind of working against me, that's why. Secondly, I also want to say congratulations to Lifesource for 20 years. That's amazing, and my goal now is to be around as long as you guys are. So, thirdly, I need to know how many people here are certified in CPR. Okay, because I'm about half scared to death up here. I may need your services. To speak to that, we got an email from Kathy Geist earlier this week, and she had her top 10 list of things for presenters to be aware of. And the number one was, I need to read to you. Number one, have fun, relax. Imagine everyone in the room in their underwear. First of all, being in the limelight is not fun for me. Secondly, I am in a suit, which is unusual, so I can't relax. And thirdly, thanks to my dyslexia, I'm actually picturing you picture me in my underwear. And I figure, well, if that's the case, I've been told my job today is actually to be the example of what the gift of life is all about. That actually looks more like an explosion in the Granimals factory. So anyway, I'll do what I can. That's actually shortly after June 14th, 1989. It's a few days post-transplant. I was told at that time that my kidney came from an 18-year-old who was celebrating his high school graduation. It's hard for me to imagine the worst scenario of a celebration turning into tragedy and of dreams turning into nightmares than that. I was also told that all 6 antigens matched. It was a perfect tissue match, which in essence is like having a twin brother who was 11 years younger than me and 3 states away. So just a few days post-transplant, I'm only just there becoming aware of what the gift is that I've received. So over time, it's become my goal to take my twin brother, if you will, on all the adventures he wasn't going to be able to have. But to truly understand the gift for me anyway, we have to go back about 20 years before this to 1969. We're actually loading up the family station wagon with my mom, my dad, my 2 older brothers, and my grandpa Isaacson for a month-long road trip out to the West Coast. Anybody who's been around 9-year-olds knows that they're dreamers and schemers. They're already dreaming about what they want to be when they get to be adults, and they're scheming about ways to become adults, probably too quickly. So go ahead, feel sorry for the rest of the people in that car. It's probably also at this point you're wondering, what does this have to do with transportation or with transplantation? Why is this trip important? Where did his dad get that hat? So let's go back just a little bit further. Oh, too far, sorry. Oh, no, wrong, sorry. Okay. Early on, I made it pretty clear. I was mischievous and a bit of an adventurer. In fact, my mom tells the story of the time that I, at about 2.5 years old, walked all the way across town, a good 1.5 miles, over a busy highway, over 2 sets of railroad tracks, to visit my babysitter, Hilda. Because, according to me, I thought she was lonesome for me. Well, they knew I was going to be a handful, because let's face it, I liked fast cars. I liked fast bikes. If there was water, I was bound to be in it. If there was something to be climbed, I was going to be on top of it. Actually, the snow picture, about a 1.5 weeks after that, I was in the hospital, in St. Mary's Hospital in Minneapolis, with a kidney infection. And, you know, it's one of those things that happens to kids. It's not really a big deal. I also liked things with wings. And let's face it, I had a thing for the ladies. But there was a reserve side. I had a voracious appetite for reading. I liked animals. And if you look at the one on the right, little bump on the forehead, I had so many bumps and bruises that from bumping into things and playing around and being with my 2 much bigger brothers, that I always had a bump on my head or a bruise on my elbow or a skinned knee. I was also learning how to be a photographer like my dad. And you'll notice that Dad is the one who's running in from the left trying to beat the timer on his camera. But we had a very close family, which brings us back to that trip in 1969. We got to go out and play in the mountains. I got to dangle my feet in the Pacific Ocean. We got to know people from other cultures, and we got to know my grandpa just a little bit better, and he was really a wonderful man. There was Disney, there was Yellowstone, there was the San Diego Zoo, there was crossing the Golden Gate Bridge and Devil's Tower. But the thing that got my attention was the Boeing Air Show, in which the Air Force Thunderbirds and the Navy Blue Angels were performing. Now these guys became my larger-than-life heroes, and of course, flying became my passion. So all in all, it was a pretty special trip for me, and I remember much of it like yesterday. It was also the last trip we took with my father because he passed away in November of 1969. Now when something like that happens, the whole world seems to change. Moms suddenly have to go back to work, brothers may go their own ways, and let's face it, the dreams of 9-year-old boys kind of get put on hold. So the next 20 years goes by pretty normally. There's confirmations and high school and college graduations, hanging out with buddies, model airplanes, real cars. And of course, a very special girl. All in all, a pretty normal life, like I said, until